I'd like to call this meeting to order at 5:34. First item is pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
All right. President Gaten.
Here.
Secretary Duval.
Here.
Director Wager.
Here.
Director Brown. Here. And Treasurer Parker. Here. Right.
Okay, first item is consent items. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
For a second,
February 11th meeting.
I'll make a second.
motion been made second to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table, aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Next item, approval of minutes from January 14th, 2025 monthly meeting and the January 28th special joint meeting. Have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a question first.
Yep.
Wasn't Ms. Howard the mayor by the time of January 14th instead of a trustee?
Oh. Yes. I will fix that.
See, they just don't love me.
I'm over here. girl.
With typo fix. For mayor. Okay. That I can fix it because Jill isn't here to sign it, so I'll fix that.
Do you have a second?
One second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the minutes from January 14th and January 28th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, public comment. We ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. When you're recognized, please stand, state your name and address the board. Anybody like to address the board from Zoom? I don't see anybody raising their hand. Nope. All right. Terry, you want to address anyone? Nope. Okay, we're on.
Last chance.
Okay, next item, financial reports. Fall on you.
No, I don't have Paul yet, but Tim's the financial.
I'm sorry.
I said if you're doing financials, and I'll check on Paul real quick.
Oh, I got you. Financial report is separate from staff reports. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's okay.
I looked through them and they look good to me. I don't know if anybody else just looked at them. No, I didn't.
That 23,000 per sewer, that was for that pump, I assume. To put us in the red for the month.
That would be my guess. That's a good question. Oh, he said he's trying.
Paul,
Yes.
as soon as Kim comes back.
She got lost.
She's making copies. See if she can.
Oh.
Will you skip her for a minute, she said? Just putting together.
Well, then if we're skipping her, let's go down to.
Got enemy.
Sasha, system total. Let's do that, right?
Okay, so Systems total, you can flip down here, we're actually really good. We only had 2.62% water loss. I think that's maybe yeah, that's like the lowest. The closest was, there was in 2023 was like a 0.08. And last month was a 0.08, so this month was 0.02. So there's a really small water loss, so hopefully we'll keep going that way. Right now I sent 7 shut-off letters and 9 warning letters. Right now, I still have 4 people left for the shut-off list and 7 left on my warning list. They still have till the Thursday, the 20th or whatever, to pay. And if they don't by then, they'll be shut off on that Friday by Paul. So. Otherwise, that's pretty good.
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yes, that's very good.
So
Has that got anything to do with the bulk water not being?
it might, because we're not having any waste from, any of that.
Okay.
So it could be. And then if we trip over to, you want to trip down the diamond maps. So I went to a training.
I have a question before we move on.
Sure.
On lawn. How do we handle if there is a water leak on the downstream side of a meter? Is there any,
So if there is a meter downstream, like, if you look at, like back in 2024, in December of 23 and January 24, we did have the tank overflows because of a leak. So if there was a downstream one, then Paul would let me know. And then I would add that to the report.
I mean, how do we handle it with the customer if, say, somebody puts a staple through a water line and they leak water in a building that hasn't been used yet? Do we do any type of adjustment for that if it was something that, or is it just too bad, so sad, the water's metered?
Well, I
Actually,
guess,
like a contractor or something doing something.
Yeah,
Before there's a meter in, or?
well, there's a
after?
meter in, yeah,
Then they get charged for it.
okay.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, they could always come and apply for a hardship with you and you
Okay.
could make a determination if you're going to give them I mean, we have done that a couple times when there was some crazy.
Well, the reason I asked, cause the school in their new preschool building, the contractor drove a nail through a water line and it sat and leaked for days.
Oh, well, I guess I'd talk to the contractor.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
I
take
think,
that as a
I think I'd be
contract,
chatting
right?
with the contractor and their insurance.
That's
Right.
between them and their.
I didn't know how
contractor.
that was handled through the authority. I'd love-
Yeah.
I'd get
If
a
it's
clarification on that.
from the sidewalk toward the road, and it's clearly in the KWWA's side of it, then we incur that cost. But
Right.
if it's a contractor, then that's between them and their
Right.
contractor on how that gets paid, but they'll show that on their next billing.
They already did.
So, which is probably why they were like,
Yeah.
how did we go through that much water?
No.
Yeah, we had a little guy over in, who was out of town and he got a leak. So, yeah. Okay, we good there on that?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, diamond map, so I went to training over in Simila, never been to Simila before, so that was kind of fun. Didn't realize once I turned off the main highway, I was on dirt, I was like, wow, all right. Thank goodness they graded it, but my car came back ugly. So I went to a diamond maps training, it was really cool, I learned a lot. And so we had that snow day, what day that was. So since I was stuck at home and couldn't get my my drives to work, I was like, well, I'm gonna work on diamond maps. So I just want to show you what I started doing. So I started mapping out the fire hydrants. So this is just one layer of the map. So this is where the fire hydrants are. And so they're like where I put them in, then it tells like where they are. So if you were to click on a fire hydrant, like number 37 there, so that's hydrant 37. So if you click on it, it gives you this. And then if you expand that out, then it tells you that this is hydrant 37. I don't have all the manufacturer, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have to find that out. But I can always add that, the date it was inspected, and then an attachment, I can add a picture. So that's what I've done. I've added pictures. And then the history, so this is, I added in Paul's when he did the flushing or whatever. So he went through, he said oil, yes, grease nozzles, yes, pressure. Some of them, he put pressure, some he didn't, and then which operator did it. Then the coordinates, either the latitude and longitude of it, created by, and then date was created. So each one of the hydrants, that's where I started, because hydrants are easy to find. You know, they're up there, they're bright red. So I just wanted to show you kind of where I'd started with. So I will keep plugging away at the hydrants, and then each thing has its own layer. So then I could turn off the hydrant layer and turn on the meter pit layer. And then I can start coordinating all the meter pits and doing the same thing for them. But then eventually I could turn on, I can turn on as many layers. So I could have all the fire hydrants, and I could have all the meter pits, and I could have all the lines, but it'll get kind of busy looking. So if there's like a certain thing you want to see, then we can just turn on the one layer. But this is the fire hydrant layer
Cool.
that I made.
So now, these are not all the fire hydrants?
No, this is
Yeah.
just where I started.
Okay, all right. And I was just,
No, there's a whole bunch.
yeah, I know there's one over there by the
Yeah,
red shop.
I started in one corner.
Yeah, you did.
Working my way out.
Yeah, and also I was just gonna say, I don't mean to be picky, but you have a word, Donnie, and these are alleys,
Oh,
alleys.
that is,
Not Pawnee,
that's Google Maps. That's not me.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, cause that's an alley, and then there's an
Nice.
alley up here that is not named, of course, thank goodness, but it
Yeah.
says Donnie.
Yeah, they pull that directly from like Google Maps.
Yeah.
So I can contact Google Maps and see
Okay.
if they can fix that.
Cause I was just wondering if, cause
Nope, I didn't do that.
it's, all right, okay.
That
You're
one-
off the hook.
that
You're
one's
off
not
the
me.
hook. Okay.
But anyway, so I
So
just
are these
wanted,
hydrants numbered, you say?
yes, so each hydrant has a number.
But it's behind the scene, not on this map, it's in
Right.
this, in the.
Right, I mean,
Right.
if I blew it up,
Yeah,
it might show the number with it, or it might be a layer that I can tell it to do.
Okay.
But right now, you have to do is just click on it, it'll tell you the number
Sure.
automatically.
well, this
So,
is
yeah,
great, this is
Each one has a
great.
number, and actually, most of them have the number spray painted on the side too. So,
Or they have they used to have a red, plastic stick,
yeah,
marker
So-
in the ground until it.
yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show you what I'd gotten started.
Oh, this is great, this is great,
so
this
you
is
can
gonna
kind
be
of-
so helpful.
Yeah, I think so. So it's kind of an interesting program to use, and so yeah, so I've started on the fire hydrants, I'll get through all the fire hydrants, and then I'll start working on the meter pits, and then I'll start, so anyway, I just wanted to show you kind of how it looks and how it works. And so then anytime that they're, so and then this basic part doesn't change except for the history. So every time they are flushed or something breaks or whatever, then I'll add to the history.
And you'll continue just adding more into that space.
Yes, and so this history one it'll just add on, so. And so I talked to Paul, and he said the manufacturer, and everything is on each one, and so, he didn't know when they were installed. And I called the fire department, and they didn't know when they were installed, so I don't know that, I'll keep working on that, but at this time, I don't know when the fire hydrants were installed.
I will tell you though, the fire districts are very excited about us taking this program on because they
Oh, I
want the
bet.
ability to log into this.
Yes,
And
and once we get it up
on
and,
their computers in their rigs, it
Yep.
can go to the dispatch center.
Yep.
And it'll be much more efficient operations for them when they're coming into Kiowa and
Yep.
having a fire or call that they have to deal with, that needs a fire hydrant.
Everybody, this is
Yeah.
amazing, because
Yeah.
this is something we don't
Yeah.
have. We've never had it, where you had a map with the blah, blah, you don't know where it
Yep.
was, and.
yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to give you a taste
Excellent,
of what I've been
excellent.
working on.
Cool.
That's
So you
great.
can kind of just see it and see how it kind of looks. So each item will have a thing like this. So each of the valves will have one, each of the pumps will have one, blah, blah, blah. So,
Good deal. Thanks, Sasha.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that's Great.
All right, we'll move back up
Go
financial.
back up a
report.
little bit.
Yep.
Can I ask you, also, can we amend the agenda? I wasn't in here when you guys did that. I mean, you guys would write through stuff.
they're,
It's Donnie.
You're late.
Can we add to the agenda under new business, revisions to Headway's, service agreement? With KWWA.
yeah, and it's on there,
It
it's
is on
A,
Is it on there?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah, it's
I
on there.
thought because.
That's what I was gonna say, I
Put it
didn't
in
see
there, that
this.
it wasn't on there.
No,
No,
it's
it's
on
there.
there as A.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
I made Teresa crazy.
And what is the, and while we're talking about that real quick, what is the rehab of the water storage tank? What is,
We'll talk about that when we get there.
okay,
Okay, so.
all right, sorry.
I'm
Financial
working on that.
report, we can talk about the financial report. I just wanted to bring one thing to you guys' attention.
And I think I have Paul on now, so.
GL account 6840 computer supplies and software. It does show you at 244% of that budgeted item, and that's because we added the Civic Plus programs on there. So we'll have to do appropriations.
Yeah.
On that. But that was the only glaring thing. You're creeping up there on your infrastructure repairs and maintenance on sewer, and that has to do with the repairs currently going on. We're not done with that, so that may creep up next month too. We'll have to look at that later.
Excellent. Any questions on the financial report for Kim? Jill, you have any questions?
I just wanted to thank Kim very much for putting the variance column on there. That helps my math brain every month when I look at it. And yeah, I was concerned about the repair and maintenance for the sewer, and we're already up to 26% on our legal. So we have some things we need to keep our eye on for sure. That's all.
Anybody else? Excellent. We will move on to Paul Grant monthly report. Paul, are you on?
I am, yes. So the water system is doing good. The wastewater system will have the second lift station pump installed either next week or the week after, depending on the weather, because he'll have to drive his truck around the lagoon to back down to the influent lift station vault. And then otherwise, the first pump is doing well, and we should be able to start pumping down the lagoon as soon as that second pump is in place.
Any questions for Paul?
Question, yeah, I do. Where are we at with installing the meters? Are we done with that thing yet or not, or?
No, we're waiting on the
weather?
meters to come in. We had our monthly meeting with Paul, last week.
Okay,
And he has ordered the remainder of the meters that are needed from Ferguson. And I believe he said they will be in March.
and how many are that, is that again?
Paul, can you remind?
102?
100, that's what, I thought it was right around 100.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we get those in, then we'll set a schedule on how they get installed
Okay,
for this year.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Excellent. Thanks, Paul.
All right, you're welcome.
Who's the phone number?
That's him. That's Paul.
That's Paul.
Yeah, he's the phone number.
Kim?
I actually have no reports this month.
No reports.
No.
All right.
No.
Wow, there we go. There we go. All right, let's move into old business. Meter deposit fees, tap fees and sewer rate increase. We talked a little bit about this the last meeting, and we put it on the agenda to discuss this month to see where we want to go with that.
Yeah, so the first few things, I went to look for this surcharge. Hello. Because we discussed that. So I included, and I abbreviated them, so you didn't have to look through like wads of paper. But so it was talked about in the April 13th meeting, but tabled till May, and then the May meeting was canceled. In June, it says that they proposed the utility billing surcharge, but then there wasn't any more notes.
And this is in 2021.
2021, yep. And then June 22nd meeting, there's a whole section about where they discussed it. And it was voted on to pass it. To cover ownership and replacement costs of the meters. And then in July, they said they were looking at a number to see the time length of the surcharge. They'll be sending out letters to explain the change in the program. They did send out information in the last monthly newsletter. And then Teresa was really nice. She sent me the post that was on Facebook because I couldn't find anything else.
I also went out on the water bills because that was before
Okay.
express pay,
Okay,
so that was.
yeah,
before
and
that.
so, and I wouldn't have access to that, but
Yeah.
I couldn't, I was trying to look for like a letter or something, I
That's
couldn't
where I
find,
went out.
I couldn't find anything. So that's kind of where you're at with that. There was no, it doesn't look like there was a decision made on the termination of it. I did talk to the newspaper, they didn't have any, notices or ordinances that were filed about it.
I talked to White Bear and they don't have any resolution, so
Okay,
we didn't do one for it.
Okay.
We just notified that there was a $3
gotcha,
surcharge for the meters.
okay,
And that's okay, because I talked to Paul and Colin today, and we're gonna rectify that as I updated you guys, and probably the next meeting you'll have something we'll put in place.
We had a termination date because we weren't sure how long it was gonna take to install all these meters.
right,
Right, and I think, I remember conversations, from probably 2022. I don't know what a reasonable cutoff date is, if there ever will be one, to be honest with you, because these meters each are in excess of $300. So it's gonna take a long time for a $3 a month fee to each household to pay off the cost of one meter. You know, and then it's gonna be an ongoing thing, you know, with
100 months.
maintenance and repairs of them. So, I mean, that's something that might be taken into consideration by you guys when you're looking at a cutoff date, if you ever have one.
It's just surcharge used for that.
Yes,
Right.
It's strictly for the
yeah,
meter.
it's strictly for the meters,
Right.
yeah, so,
Does that seem to be a hardship for anybody?
no,
I mean,
no,
I wouldn't think so if it's gonna cover the maintenance too.
I
It's
think
an
we
ongoing-
had hardly any, I don't
I
remember
haven't-
any complaints.
no, I haven't had anybody talk about it.
Nobody
So,
complained about it.
cause $3 is pretty reasonable.
That's what I was thinking.
Anyway, but that's what I found in doing all my research. So, I just wanted to kind of give you guys heads up where you were.
And to that end, the meter deposit fee, that one, it still got me a little baffled on,
It does me too. The
on the meter deposit.
amount,
Well, just not even the amount, but just the idea of, I just couldn't think of a scenario where somebody would take the meter or damage the meter, or I just,
Right.
well, I'll tell you this, Donnie, we've had issues at the jail. Because inmates shove stuff down in there just to clog them up.
Uh-huh.
There are literally adults that do things like that.
But in
Just to
the
do it.
meter itself or just in the line or?
Well, they've clogged up the line and we've had to flush it out to the tune of about $2,000.
Right.
So I mean, people do ridiculous things, you know, we can get somebody really mad and.
And when we haven't, I
Disconnect it
mean,
and leave town with it.
and at this point, they pay the deposit when the house is sold or bought, and then they get it back. So I haven't had anybody complain because they always get their money back. You know, so,
The auditor has mentioned every year that the amount of the meter deposits in the meter deposit account, it seems to be a requirement. I can check with our auditors, our new auditors on this fact, okay? But it's always been a source of contention for him because the balance of that account doesn't match the number of meters that
Right.
we have in circulation.
Right, because.
well, partly because when they first started doing this, they didn't collect on everybody.
Mhm,
I can tell you that there's homes out there that the first deposit I have is the new homeowner,
mhm.
that there wasn't
Right.
one at the
Yeah.
start,
Right.
yeah. So,
And then there was the thing we brought up at the last meeting, we're collecting $109 on a $300-something meter.
Mhm.
That's not really,
so that's something that needs to be
but that's,
discussed if you want.
I'll be honest with you, I've never lived in a municipality where you've had to give a deposit for a meter.
Yeah, and that's what I was
Right.
thinking too, and you're doing a surcharge too, so you're actually
Yeah.
paying for it over time.
Right,
You know, I mean, it'll take a lot of time, but.
right.
I think some clarifying conversation with the auditor might be in line.
Yeah,
See if we really, I don't know of anything that's requiring us to have
I
it.
mean, and the other thing is the meter belongs to the town, so it is,
Right.
you know, it's the town's property.
We've already done a division of work
Right.
saying that we will cover the cost of the meters.
Right,
So
Unless they go in there with like a shovel or something, yeah.
it's a mystery.
yeah, so I just, if you're gonna charge a fee, I feel like you gotta be able to legitimize the fee.
I mean,
Right.
if anything, we could
Right.
take that
This
and
is
move
like
it over
yours.
into another
Right.
account. You know, like a reserve account for the meters.
Right.
If anything, but let me get some clarification from Eric at our new auditor's office and see if there's a requirement that we have to have that in
Yeah.
place. Or if there's a better way to show that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. And then the last part of that is the sewer rate increase. We talked about with the fellow that did the rate analysis, that we were gonna run $12 short per user on the sewer side. Basically $12 is what the number
Yes.
was.
Yes,
Right.
I don't remember the exact percentage he gave out, but
it was 22, so we were 19% short with the 3%.
yeah, yeah, so, I mean, I just can't see where you just let that go on and not raise that up to a place where it's paying for itself,
We've got to pay for it.
you know, I mean, it's,
Or pay it.
yeah, well, I don't either, but we, you know, it'll affect us a lot, it'll be, you know, we have senior housing, we have 8 users in there, you know, so it's 8 times 12, so we're paying over $100 a month more, and we already pay almost $1,000 a month in the summer, or in the winter. Summertime, we pay 1,500-1,600 a month, so I understand that it'll be affected, but if you don't start charging it, you know, while there's a shortfall now, what do you do in 5 years? Are you gonna increase it by 50? You know, because you ran for a 5-year shortfall for the maintenance, and, I mean, if it's not paying for itself.
I know Sasha and I were talking today, she was looking over those old minutes and she's, man, back in 21. There was issues with that sewer. I
The
remember
sewer pumps.
walking in the door and people were calling, complaining about the smell from over there because they were down in 21 and it's been a continuous thing.
Yeah, cause I was looking over these in 21 and I'm looking over the reports and it's like. Sewer pump is down, sewer pump needs, I was like. Do these sewer pumps ever like not break? So it was like, you know. Yeah,
What do you suggest that we don't pay it?
I mean, how do we keep up with the maintenance and the cost if we don't increase that fee?
Well, every year somebody comes in and says the sky is falling. Last year, right water wanted 100%. They wanted to double our water rate.
Mhm.
Scott came in and said 19%. You already raised it 3% this year.
Mhm.
Let's raise it up. I'll go on next year. I just. Can't
I mean,
afford it.
I mean, I understand, but I think that a rate study is actual true numbers of what you're spending and what it, you know, what the system's costing, and, you know, so, I mean, how do we make up that difference if it costs that, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I just don't know how we're gonna make it up if we don't increase. That's so. The longer we go without increasing, the higher, like you said, it's gonna get higher.
So, I mean, if you're not going to cover your costs for your system, where do you make up that difference? I mean, do you cut somewhere? What do you do? I mean, typically if you're gonna have a balanced budget, you either cut somewhere or you increase the fees, so I mean. That's my opinion. I mean, I get
know, I get it too.
it.
But I look at my water bill and it's. I added, you know, how many more dollars to it? Now I'm up in 120 something
Yeah,
Mhm.
oh, I know,
and,
absolutely,
and
yeah,
hard to
And-
find groceries.
understand completely.
But that's kind of the norm we're in life. I hate to say it, but like you said, groceries, same thing going up. Everything they do in our business, every month they're reevaluating and sorry, the prices went up. Well, we're all facing it, but we also gotta maintain a budget too.
Jill, do you have some input?
No, since I wasn't around much when all of this stuff started, I'm just kind of counting on you guys to be the experts here.
Thank you.
You didn't help, do
How's that for passing the buck?
it.
Laurel?
Oh, that's when he was saying. he'd be
I'm
right
not the
back.
financial person, so I'm
Go ahead
not
and get
real
all
good
of
at
that out of
this.
there, 'cause
Right.
that's being recorded.
But I understand too, that,
Get
you
that.
know, if
Oh.
you just can't
Out of
keep
there, too.
absorbing that and not being able
There you
to,
go.
I still
bring in
have
the
to
revenue you need. I know it's,
It'll.
I already went through
I'll
that.
watch
So what are we
Okay.
looking at getting to? How much more a month?
$12 more a
12
month
bucks
Well, on the sewer.
on the
on
sewer,
the sewer side, yeah.
even though we passed the 3% over to sewer.
Yes, because you were short 22%
Okay,
and now you're short 19%, which is about $12
okay.
ish, you know, right?
so it's only on the sewer side really right now?
That you're short.
Yeah.
Okay,
And is that commercial higher then?
Yes, everybody goes up. Well, it's a percent, it's the 19% of whatever your base is.
Right, right.
So
Yes.
commercial, government,
Will go up a little bit more.
schools are a little bit.
Yeah.
better
Higher.
than
Yeah.
Residential.
aren't they getting special rates though, the schools and the government are getting special rates? No, no,
Nope.
no,
Mm-mm.
okay,
No, ours are a little higher.
okay.
Yep.
There's a larger end.
I mean, I feel your pain, Teresa, because I know, you know,
I do too.
senior housing's a nonprofit and we try to keep the rents down and, you know, try to keep the costs down. We pay the water and sewer for the residents there and, you know, like our bill's almost $1,000 a month. And when we're not watering the lawns,
I know.
you know, and when we water the lawns, it's 14, 15, 1600 bucks.
It's gonna kill me this summer.
Yeah, it's, I know.
Why is the sewer a percentage of the water bill rather than, I guess that's the only way to calculate it, huh?
Yeah, because you're not metering the sewer.
Yeah.
You only meter the water.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier,
Mhm.
how that
Mhm.
ratio.
Because we don't
because-
meter sewer.
And not everybody sewers.
Right.
They
Yeah,
use
because if
water.
you're like irrigation only,
Yeah,
you don't use sewer.
Yeah.
Um,
so it's kind of hard to do that because you're doing the percentage, assuming that you're taking the water and then it's going down the sewer, but not necessarily
Right.
happening that way.
right.
Well, I guess, we need to set maybe make a motion if we're gonna send this to a public hearing and close it. And, put it out there, the public can get input, so, or not. So if somebody wants to make a motion one way or another. That's just-
19%.
Yeah,
That's what you're gonna do in
19%.
public.
I mean, that's what's recommended
Mhm.
based on the rates. So.
I make a
You
motion.
don't think we have any more study session by the board? Do you think we're ready to go to a public hearing with this?
Based on a rate study,
Right?
Okay,
I make a motion, we put it out there to the public, and we'll get some input from them.
set a public hearing to raise it up 19% on the sewer side.
Okay, so we probably have to do it,
30 days.
yeah, so.
April, because you'll be short.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be short, so it'll have to be the April meeting.
Do we have a second for Brett's motion?
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Okay.
Motion's been made second to set a public hearing for sewer rate increase of 19%. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll set that public hearing for the April meeting.
I will get a public notice sent out.
Thank you.
When is the April meeting? What is it? What day?
April.
Give me a second, let me pull up my calendar.
Marley?
The April meeting would be the 8th.
8, okay. Just pick a day, any day is fine.
Pick a day, any day.
Telling you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, security fence for the water tower.
Okay, so, I have been asking for bids and ironically, they all started showing up today. I still have, I think, 2 left out there that, One was traveling back today and was gonna try and give me one tomorrow, and I haven't heard from the other one. So far, the ones in front of you, just to do a rough, the one, his bid was 23. I'm just gonna round 23,000. The second one that we got was at 24,000. So those two are pretty comparable. And then the third one was at 14,000. Like I said, I still have at least one more out there. But I wanted you to at least get a chance to kind of see what people were proposing. Basically, I gave them all the same idea, that it should be at least a 6-foot tall chain link fence, 3 strands of barbed wire on the top. It needed a double gate for a truck. No man gate was needed, 25 feet out. And so then, they have given you their proposals, based on the discussion that I have had with them. Anyway, I kind of wanted to give you those, not necessarily to make a decision tonight, if you want to wait for the other 1 or 2 proposals to come in, but I at least wanted you to kind of see those and have an idea about kind of what we're looking at, and if we have the $10,000 grant.
Well, let me clarify that.
Yeah,
You have a guaranteed 5,000 right now, okay? You will obtain the 10,000. This, again, this is through Colorado Rural Water Association, okay? You'll obtain the 10,000 when a safe water protection plan is put in place by the water authority for your water services, for your water that you have in the town. What that entails is creating a steering committee, another committee in the town, that would be comprised of residents, board members, emergency personnel, county people, all of those stakeholders that have a vested interest in maintaining the safety of your water system. Colorado Rural Water Association, Gabriel Mata is the one that would come out and steer you guys through that process. And that, once that's done, then you get the other $5,000 and you have $10,000 grant to utilize toward the fence for the tower, because it's a safety security feature and it's directly related to that. So that's how you obtain the 10,000, but right now, we're engaging with them. We have a $5,000 grant sitting out there available to us.
So what is this water system that we have to put in place? It's called,
Safe Water Protection Plan.
okay,
And it's a plan that the town puts in place, the water authority puts in place. This is how you're gonna protect your water resources.
you're
From
talking physically or?
domestically, or otherwise, you know, domestic terrorism, any kind of, my brain's not working tonight. Contamination,
All right.
you know what I mean?
Vandalism.
Vandalism. Yeah, anything that could cause destruction or, you know, issue with your water system.
So to get the other 5,000, we have to have another committee.
At the steering committee, according
And
to,
we have so many volunteers at the moment.
That's it.
Volunteer,
for any
volunteer,
of them, yeah, I mean, you know, the Main Street program we're trying to do with the town, which would benefit all the businesses. I've gotten one application from the library, you know, it's just. People are
Community's
tapped
gonna put
out,
it
it's a small community, and it's hard for everybody in this community to do
Yeah.
everything that's needed, you know, to,
This should be in the place right after 9/11.
yeah.
Remember,
You really
I
should have,
tried doing that survey and it wouldn't allow me to do it. Get past a certain place. Remember I told you that?
yeah,
So, is there any way that you can do a physical written out survey type of thing? And
that's,
this was online.
oh, that's for the roads, honey, that has nothing to do, that's for the road project. There, what survey?
That's a
are you
totally
talking
different
about?
No, it was the community thing.
No,
The
for
Main
Main
Street?
Street, we
Main
didn't do a
Street.
survey for Main Streets.
For
We
what?
did no, we didn't do a survey
Oh.
for Main Street Board. we did a survey for the improvements to State Highway 86.
Yeah, that was the one, yeah.
Yeah,
I have a question on this
Johnny's.
committee that we would have to have. Is there, is it like a monthly meeting? Could it be done quarterly?
I don't, it's my understanding, once the steering committee is in place, you guys set the parameters of the meetings, the dates, the times, location, I guess, or of course it would be here, but I don't know how to answer that until we can actually go to them and say, yeah, we want to do it.
I'm just thinking it might be easier to get people if they could come quarterly instead of monthly.
Yeah, I
So
don't
then
think it
we're
needs to
gonna
be a
put it
monthly.
off for another 2 years to get a fence, cause we're
Well-
gonna do it quarterly.
Well, I think that in the sense of security, I think we cough it up, put the fence up and then,
That's what I'm thinking.
That's
Yeah,
and
what
then-
Teresa said.
and then, you know, if we get to 5,000 down the road, it just makes up for what we had to spend on it. But I think for security reasons, I think we just bite the bullet and get it done.
Yeah,
Keep
and
the
just
cows
know,
out.
this,
Mostly.
yeah, this plan you're working with them on could cost thousands of dollars if you go with a consulting company, but because we're doing it with Colorado Rural Water.
Right,
You know, they're engaging with your community, they're writing it. All of that's for free.
right.
So not only are they doing the plan for free and doing the engagement and such for free, they're also giving a grant, that will help you with your security features. I mean, there may be, through the course of doing that, you may find other security issues that it needs to be used on.
Right.
We just know that this fence has been required for a long, long time. and It's never been put up.
Right.
Is there anything else that goes along with the fence, the physical fence, like lighting of some kind or
Just has to have, there just needs to really be a barrier.
a barrier? That's all that's really
Because there's no
required.
electricity up there.
Oh, there isn't?
No, there's no electricity.
Really? You just-
There's internet, I mean, what is it called, Wi-Fi or something?
Yeah, up on the,
Yeah.
yeah, for the phone
That
or
does the
whatever.
dialer.
Yeah.
For
But that's it.
overflow. But that's
I
it.
just feel we need to fight it.
I agree.
Get it done.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah, I agree on the fence, yeah,
So
definitely.
do we wait for the other bid you're expecting or?
That's up to you.
Who's the other bids coming from?
Grizzly fence.
I mean, how can we beat Billy's bid? He's the cheapest one.
10,000.
Yeah, But is,
You know,
does anybody know him?
Yes.
Yeah,
You
we
do.
do.
Oh, you do,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
that's
And
what I
Brett,
was
that's
always
actually
wondering.
5,000 off of that too, so we
Yeah,
could get that 5,000.
So you'd
That's what I'm
be
saying.
at like 9.
he's
Yeah.
very reliable.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, from
Okay,
what I know.
that's what
yeah.
I was wondering.
He did my security fence around my lot.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
local,
No.
Okay, all
and
right,
he's
so that's
coming
good.
in cheaper than anybody
By
by
a lot. Yeah,
What is his
That's fine.
name?
Bill
Still
Sewell.
Seawall.
Bill Seawald.
I think one of the reasons is so much cheaper is because a lot of the increased cost in trying to get that done is people coming from Denver.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I reached out to
Yes,
probably
literally.
10 or 12 fencing companies.
Why not use local?
And I tried local ones, faraway ones, and I, like I said, I got 3 bids back and one that was,
Bill will do a good job.
so
Okay,
That's
yeah.
my.
I wanted to give you what I had. So if you want to make a decision,
He's
great.
local.
And if you want to wait, great.
I think we do.
It's up
I
to
do
you.
too.
If somebody makes a motion, I'll
Well, they were all told when they needed to have these in, so.
entertain it.
Yes.
I make a motion that we go forward with it. We use Frontier Fence, Bill Seawall,
I'll second that.
For a value of, just state that.
$14,250.
Thank you, just so that's in the record. And second by
I
Teresa.
second that.
Okay.
Do we have any further discussion?
I'll contact Gabriel tomorrow about seeing how I can get that $5,000.
Okay,
And I will let Bill know that you've accepted his,
we haven't yet.
well,
Hearing none.
sorry.
Hearing no further discussion. All in favor of the motion on the table, aye?
Aye.
Hi,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll let him know.
I have a question
Now you can.
with this also. Is there anything in here where it tells what the time frame is to get this done?
No, but I will find out.
I mean, that's part of it too, is, you know, is he booked out for 3 years or something, or is it whatever?
No, he's pretty.
Well, I'm. this
Yeah,
is
no,
just-
I agree.
We just need to get something in writing or at least get something, a verbal.
Yep, I will
Confirmation.
talk to him tomorrow.
Okay, because
Yeah, I
that's,
talked to him on the phone today, cause he wanted to make sure he got it in, for the meeting, cause he's like, how long will you be there today? And I was like, I'm not leaving. And he kinda laughed, but, I was like, yeah, I don't really get to leave. So anyway, that's, Okay. I will get you a time frame tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next item on the agenda, review the proposed revisions to the KWWA and Town of Kiowa operating agreement.
I've got lots of notes. I went over it again, with a fine tooth comb. It looks really good, I think, but there's just some mistakes or a few things that were just kind of left off. Are we just gonna go through it
Yep.
page by page by page, paragraph,
Give
okay,
us your
my
overview,
critique,
your overview.
my overview, okay. Oh, there it is. What do you got there? You got your red herring on, huh? Okay, is Paul on or Colin? Are they on?
Yeah, Paul's still on.
Colin is on tonight for Paul Polito.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yes, yes.
okay, we're just gonna go over just page by page, word by word, is that all right?
Paul Grant, not you, Paul Grant.
Not
We're
Paul
talking
Grant.
about Paul lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Paul-
put yourself on mute for right now, Paul, please.
Yeah, we're not to you yet, Paul Grant.
Too many Pauls.
Okay, I have a question, about adding in the amended and restated operating agreement. On the heading and then on the first line, because to me, I mean, maybe it's just me, but that really clarifies exactly, as soon as I see this document, I know that it's amended and it's completely restated, so there's no other, we don't have to go back to any other document. It's just kind of a confirmation of what we've done with this agreement. We have restated everything in this agreement so that if it isn't in this agreement, it's not part of the agreement. Is that a problem with anybody? Just adding the and restated? Or Colin, is that a problem?
I think we had that conversation. We were talking about this, though. I can't remember what it was. Paul made this suggestion, Colin, and I can't rightfully remember right now why he said he didn't feel it needed to say and restated.
I think I agree that putting amended and restated in there is completely fine and it's a shortcut. I think, and I'm not sure what Paul's rationale was, but I'm guessing it was probably because the last sentence in that opening paragraph says this agreement supersedes any and all prior operating agreements regarding the authority in the town, which
That I
authority-
saw, and I agree with that, but I'm saying is, when I see this, when I look at a document, and if I see the amended and restated, just not amended, and just plain amended makes me think, oh, I gotta go back and see what the other previous document was. This just clarifies it. That's just me. I'm just one of these visual people that say, as soon as I see that, I know this is the complete document, no questions asked.
I think that's
It's-
an appropriate change.
Is it? All right, thank you. And then also in that last sentence to this about the agreement, authority should be capital A.
Yep. I
Okay,
see that there.
all right. And then, down we get down to the paragraph that, says whereas the authority and about exhibit A is fine, but we need to change the word from facilities to assets. And we had talked about that. We've done it, and there's other things down farther in the agreement that talks about the assets, but because the assets are the water rights, the wells, and all the physical facilities.
Where are you at, Laurel?
It's in
She's
the third paragraph,
down.
on the first page.
And facilities is in black.
Yeah.
It's the fourth sentence. She wanted to say assets.
Because we talked about assets further in an agreement too, and we decided that we were gonna call those assets. And then I gave you that exhibit A. And then it's in here too that I'm gonna talk about too, but I feel it should be assets.
Change it.
Change it to assets from facilities. Because that's what we're talking about when we get down here further in the agreement. Okay. Does anybody else have anything? I don't have anything else on that page. Okay, page 2 of the agreement. Again, up there in the first paragraph, second line, it says, the parties will cooperate to ensure the facilities, that needs to be changed to assets.
This is, yeah, but
No,
that should be facilities.
because we're operating
it's
facilities, we're
operating.
not operating assets.
That's the
Well,
operating,
you're operating wells, aren't you?
yeah.
Well, we're operating a well, but we're not operating the water rights.
You're just operating,
But
the way I see that is you're operating the equipment.
Cause you're like, if you're, by your reasoning, you're wanting to lump water rights,
wells,
everything in together as an asset,
Asset.
but we don't operate the water rights. We operate the facilities.
Facility.
You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
The first one I agree with. This one I think should stay facilities.
facilities, okay, all right, what, is that agreement then? We'll
Yeah.
do that, okay, that's fine. I'm just, these are my suggestions as I've
Sure.
gone through this whole thing.
Yeah.
So the rest of that page is all okay. Then on page 3, you get down to Article 2. Ownership and operation of water and wastewater, and again, that says facilities, I thought it should say assets, but I don't know.
Facilities and appurtenances,
Pardon me?
that second word. Will cover everything else.
Appurtenances is the second line down, this word covers everything else.
All right, okay, all right, that's fine. So we just want to leave that facilities in again? Okay, did everybody agree on that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine, just my observation, okay. Next page is, okay, 4 is okay. Anybody got any comment?
No.
Okay, 5, this is this new paragraph,
Paragraph A,
just a minute, paragraph, yeah, we're at paragraph 8, just a minute. I thought we needed to delete that, but not, I think that's okay. Is that any, but although it says in there, in that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line, it says towards the end, it says, if any payable to the town. Is that the right word to be using there, as town or authority?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at paragraph A,
Number 3.
1, 2,
Page
3,
five.
4,
Yeah.
5, the 5th line towards the end. Where it says, if any, payable to the town, the authority, or that, is it supposed to say the town in there, or should it say something else? Should. Anybody got a
It
thought?
does refer to their respective interests.
Shall be served
Yeah.
or as to
think-
make any payable, no, to the authority, it needs to be, take out payable to the town, well,
Colin, you had a comment?
I was just gonna say it's inclusive. You have the town, the authority, and the authority enterprises, and then that sentence after, or the phrase after, and as their respective interests may appear. So it's essentially saying whose ever interest is at issue, that's the person who's gonna get the payment. Or
Correct,
the entity that's going to get the payment.
Okay, all right. I have a note here saying that I didn't know if we decided to delete that paragraph or not.
no, we went page by page with our notes
right,
from the previous.
No, I have that too here.
Yeah, and that paragraph was not removed.
Okay, all right, okay.
It can't be removed.
Okay, that's for insurance. Okay. All right, that's fine. Okay, then. Page 6 is okay. Okay, page 7.
Quick question on page 6. I believe Ruth had mentioned a website and whether or not that wanted to be added into that paragraph that says the town shall also provide accounting and reconciliation, auditing and correspondence collection, accounts payable services and meeting space, agendas and minutes of meetings of the authority. And then she had made a comment, website is question mark. Should the town be providing a website as well, or is that something the authority is doing on its own?
No, though, I answered Paul back and let him know that the authority is already on our website. They have a page on our website.
Perfect.
And we pay for the website, Colin. We have a web designer that does work on it as needed. She's already done the remediation for ADA compliance on it. That was covered by a grant the town obtained, so that's been paid for. The only thing that and if anything has to be done with a KWWA page by the web designer, she has agreed to bill them separately if needed. But there's nothing else that needs to be done on there. The only thing that's gonna be a cost for the website at this point is the Civic Plus editions that we split annually. So.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, page. Go to the next page is, I've got something else. Page No, it's, this, something was left out. It's page. Wait a minute. It's 2 point, oh, I'm in the wrong place. It's page 7, okay, that we got 2.7, 2.8, 2.9 is at the bottom. It's 2.9 that I'm concerned about. We had talked about this because we had listed down at the bottom all the different people we were gonna be paying. And what they, for the copier and the Zoom and the Adobe and all that. Remember, that got left out of that original.
And we took it out.
And we took it out, but he put a new, he created a new paragraph.
He revised the language in there, because the
Yes.
agreement was to take the amount out and just put in there that changes will be made through appropriations in the budget every year.
Right, and so it looks like what he changes was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th line of 2.9. In the middle of it says, for the fees due for operational services provided on this agreement, the parties agree to blah, 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 blah. That was all put in there new, which is good, and I just wanted to make sure that that this covered, and it goes on to the next page too, the rest of that 2.9. He kind of made a general statement instead of, because that's what we wanted to take out, was all these lists of these different things that could change. The ownership, or not the ownership, but the names of the people and the items, when we talked about saying whatever we needed to be paying, the bills
So,
we paid.
Yeah, he
Yearly
changed it so that we
appropriation,
don't
yeah.
have to do this. If there's a change in the amount
Right.
every year, we don't have to change the agreement every year.
Right,
Rather than just account for it through appropriations in your budget.
right. So, I was just making a note that he kind of redid that paragraph, and I think it looks good.
Okay.
The rest of 2.9.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
all right. So, and then on page 8, under Article 3, looks like at the very end of that paragraph that you left off
Which
part of that
paragraph?
sentence. Paragraph, I'm sorry,
Oh.
3.1.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did. You need to put a
Parentheses, and they
ending
say
that.
copies
Yeah.
of which are attached here as Exhibit D.
I took that out.
You took it out?
You know why?
Why?
It's 200 pages.
Oh,
There's no reason on God's green earth that this agreement needs to be 200 pages. long.
okay, so then we just need to put that.
So I make
bracket.
reference to it there collectively, the LOCs,
Okay,
and what that is the 2014 sewer bond and the 2014 water bond.
okay,
Each of those respectively are 80 pages long. So we have those on record here in the office. So if anybody wants to look at those, they're available for inspection. But I didn't see a reason to put 160 pages of.
okay, I agree, I agree. I just didn't know
I
if
have
that was.
I have it printed off in a special binder. If
Okay.
someone wants to come take a look at it.
Okay, so all we need is that extra, the end of the bracket of that parentheses, okay?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, okay, page 9. Just a minute here. This is just a little picky me. And it came out because of the spacing on the page, but
Oh,
the
3.6?
Huh?
3.6?
Oh, no, because it
No,
says Article
Article
5
5
not
is
on
at the
next
very bottom of
page.
the page.
Oh, I have an
Can-
issue with 3.6. I just looked at that.
No,
There's no spacing there at 3.6,
Oh. Needs
which could be
double
why
space.
that looks like that at the bottom of the page.
oh, okay, so that'll shove it down then.
Yeah.
It will. it'll
And
show
then
to the
put it up
next-
on the top of page 10, because I don't
Yeah.
like things chopped in half, you
Me either.
can't keep track.
So we'll fix that.
Okey doke, that's good,
Paper up here.
okay.
Yeah. We'll just tape it together.
Wait, so
We'll just
Drop,
tape it.
just write it in there by hand. Okay, page 10 is okay. 11 is okay. 12 is okay. And we're at almost at the end of it. And then we get to the signature page, and I'm here, picky Laurel again, but the signature page, the lines are not lining up with the top of the signature block, like Town of Kiowa, attest, Kiowa Water, wastewater.
They're not meant to.
They're not meant to?
No.
Why? Usually you say by and then colon, and then you have the line.
Laurel, if you would like to see them lined up, we can line them up. Whatever includes this conversation.
Alright. I know it's not crucial, but
I think
what?
when we talked about signatures, I think we asked to have a line where their name is printed above where they sign, because remember, we can't read some signatures.
That's right, Jill's gonna sign this, so I need a printed line.
Oh, so we're not, the top line is not good?
No, it's good. She's asking
just
that
wants
we
another
add a
line.
second
Printed
line where the
signature.
person that's signing has to print their name in case their
Neatly?
signature is
Oh,
not
okay,
readable.
okay, all right. That's a good
And my
idea, too.
name has, Duval has 2 L's on it at the end.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Okay.
Mr. Duval? Okay, now, okay, page 14 is the exhibit A. And this is where I believe we have to have the word assets
Okay,
rather than facilities, okay?
we can do that.
Okay,
As long as where it's referenced in this document is not referring to
It's on the first page.
exhibit A. That's the only place it's
I
referring to
think
that.
so.
yeah,
Yes,
Then
And
we're fine with
exhibit
it.
A,
And then I-
attached here to and incorporated here in the assets from the town, yeah.
yeah, and I gave you an exhibit A. You guys don't have it, but this is what, I just worked up and she can retype it how she wants, but it's got all the determinations, the different wells. And this is something else that I just wanted to bring up here that, and I gave you copies, Sasha, of all the wells that I pulled. There are, 2 wells, the primary well, which is our alluvium well, which is the 2794 F-R, and then there's another well, which is the 2875 F, which I believe is the one over by the fire station that we're gonna use for the redundancy, hopefully. And then there were 3 well permits, 183, 842, and 4344. They are monitoring wastewater well that I found that are in the town of Kiowa. They're sitting over there by the sewer ponds, by the,
Paul, do you know anything about the Paul grant? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so monitoring wells are just for testing the groundwater underneath around the sewer plant. And usually
Right.
those are put in when they have a lagoon on board, or when you first bring a sewer plant online, they might test it just to see if it's having any effect on the groundwater around you. So those are not drinking water wells at all.
we understand that, but there's still wells that are in the name of town of Kiowa that need to be in the KWWA because they're part of facilities, correct?
Yeah, they can be, but they're just monitoring wells. They're just for
I know.
sampling. They don't do any other good.
Find those at.
On the DWR site, I pulled everything in the town of Kiowa in the sections that we were in, 16, 21, 20, and 17. And I pulled all these wells. There's
What-
also one more,
What are the years on those?
huh?
What are the years on those?
Well, I don't have,
Maybe that's why I didn't see them.
well, I don't pull by years.
1940 something.
No, those were 79, I think. No, not 79, they were earlier, but, the packets I gave you, I did a little summaries for
You
each
did.
one of the wells.
I have not been able to go to
Okay,
that.
but I put down the date that it was drilled because it's right there on the papers. I gave you the complete record from the DWR's record.
Okay.
There's also and we need to know about whether this well is ours, and we may have to ask the DWR or somebody, our water attorney. There is a well permit of 110770 that's located over, it's owned by the Kiowa School District, Donnie.
It's on the 48.
It's on the 40 acres across the way. It said it was for concession stand, sink.
Yeah, it's capped.
It's capped.
Yeah, they don't use it.
They didn't say it. It's not been officially plugged or anything.
Well, it's never, it hadn't been used in 40 years.
There's not even a concession stand over there. There's
No.
nothing over
Well, I
there.
know that's what that was for the track.
Yeah,
Over there was supposed
yeah,
to be.
originally. But
All
yeah,
right.
it hadn't been used in 40
All right,
years.
so I don't know if that, and I don't know if that would be owned by the town of Kiowa anyway, even if it wasn't, or because is a Kiowa School District something different government wise? Then,
School district is different government wise.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they have their own rules as far as.
okay, so would that, since it was drilled by the Kiowa School District, would that not be ours even though it's in our town? Do you know?
No, that would not be that. That was theirs back then, and it's probably not even any good anymore. It's probably, the permit's probably expired by now because they haven't used it.
It was drilled. It was 114-foot drill, a well.
Right,
he's
but what
not
he's saying is
saying-
the permit's expired because it hasn't been used.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's just what I happened to find, so I printed out that paper, so that's something we need to think about to add on this exhibit A for the assets.
I will tackle. that
And then
next
also I
week.
gave you copies of the determinations too,
Okay,
okay?
So do we want to approve this agreement tonight with revisions?
we can do that. You can prove it with revisions.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I have
You
one
all
more.
agree on the revisions and Colin, is in agreement with the revisions. Colin, you don't see any reason why they can't approve it with revisions, do you?
They can approve it with revisions. Yep, so those revisions that you've talked about tonight can be incorporated into a final draft that's distributed for signature.
Okay, I have one more item. Exhibit A, which is supposed to be the ORC scope of work.
That will come off.
That's coming off, so that exhibit C is going away, so exhibit D, which is letters of condition, will be exhibit C.
That's coming off too.
Oh, it is?
That's that 200 pages. I'm not putting it in this.
Okay. All right, then we only have exhibit A and B.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
gone and gone.
all right, so, all right, that's what I have, thank you.
Anybody else have anything? We have a motion to approve the amended agreement,
With revisions.
amended.
With revisions.
It's already
Make a
amended.
motion.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
I'll make a motion.
I so move,
Oh, I so oppose. Teresa, she can't, there's a delay, actually,
She
Teresa.
can't.
When I'm at home listening to you guys, I see your mouth moving, but I hear nothing for like a few
Japanese
seconds.
movie.
Yes, that.
So do you second that?
Yes.
So she got all excited.
Motion been made by Jill, seconded by Teresa to approve the with revisions.
I hate doing it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion on the table, aye?
aye,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everybody, for your work on that.
yes, I think that turned out well.
Okay, let's move on to new business. Review proposed revisions to KWWA and Headway Consultant Agreement.
So Paul's cost increased this year by $150 a month on his contract price. We did budget for that. But in order to make that effective, we have to also revise the agreement with him for professional services. What you're looking at is the proposed changes by your attorney. Paul and I had a conversation prior to the meeting. He concurs with these revisions. He's fine with them. The only thing that he's asking is we have to revise the attachment listing his personnel. Jeff Garrison, who's currently listed on there, is no longer with Paul. And he's being replaced by an Ed Albright. So I need to make that revision to his personnel. And his certifications. I'll just let you know what Paul Polito said as far as his reasoning for the revisions. If you're looking at Article 5, there was a conflicting cancellation provision. He stated the agreement could be canceled in writing by either party with 90, but in parentheses, 30 days in advance notice in a term being a year. On top of being conflicting, it's not a good provision for the authority. So he wanted to allow some flexibility to cancel the agreement much earlier if needed. Number 2, slightly increase the scope of service in Article 6 by incorporating Exhibit A. He amended Article 7 to state that the contractor should also have requisite certifications. He edited Article 9 to acknowledge that the authority is a public entity and not authorized to indemnify private parties. Deleted Article 11 for illegal aliens. This law was rescinded and the provision is no longer applicable in this agreement. He amended, looks like Article 15, almost 16, to acknowledge certain tax and benefit limitations for independent contractors. And then just generally cleaned up the formatting of the document once he was done. Other than that, he's okay with the substance of the contract.
Anybody have questions, concerns?
I have a question about why we didn't know about this price increase before we did our budget.
We did know about it. We budgeted for it. We just didn't amend the agreement for it at the beginning of the year.
That it? Okay,
and my question. Who wrote this agreement?
Your
And
attorneys. Well, this was actually written in 2023 by White Bear. I gave that previous agreement to Paul Polito and Paul Grant. Paul Polito and Colin went through it, and what you're looking at now is their requested revisions to
Okay.
the agreement.
Okay,
They're good with the content of it, the context of it. They just had those revisions.
sure, okay, okay.
Any other questions?
Just a minute. Do we have to vote on this tonight or do we
That'd
have,
be nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
They like to get paid.
Yeah. And I'll change the formatting on the signature page.
oh, and we wanna put a name in the attestation, who's gonna attest, is that Jill?
I don't know, whoever's gonna sign me, it'll probably be Sasha, but I'll line up Donnie and put Paul Grant's information in here.
Yeah, his needs to be in there, and then who's gonna attest for the Kiowa Water?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Now, is that correct, the Kiowa Water and Sanitation Authority? Is that the correct,
No,
is it KWWA?
Uh-huh.
yep.
So
We'll
she'll
fix
fix
that.
Oh,
The
looky there.
wastewater.
I'm sorry, I just happened to ask that question. And so is the other name in here correctly, Jen? Is the other entity?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is KWWA.
Yeah. Just
Just. Okay,
all right. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve?
I have, wait a minute, I have one more question.
Okay,
These agreements are not gonna be recorded, so they don't need to be notarized, correct? Okay, all right, just questioning that.
Yeah.
Same thing with our operating agreement.
We don't record those at the clerk and recorder's
That's
office.
good, you don't need.
Colin, do you see a reason to record that at the clerk and recorder's office?
No, not these agreements. Ones that deal with real property that are affecting real property, those would be
Yes.
reported.
Which have.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, sorry.
now do I have a motion to approve?
What day is this going to be dated? I have another question. Sorry. Is it gonna be dated today, the
If
11th?
you approve it with revisions today, it will be dated today.
Okay, all right. Okay, and signed.
Yes, ma'am, once I do the revision.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I make a motion to approve that they had Headways consultant with revisions.
Go a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the KWWA and Headway Consultant Agreement. Any further, or do I have a second? You second?
Yes.
Sorry. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table, aye?
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Motion carries. The last item on the agenda, rehab of water storage tank.
Okay, so, I went back and looked, in 2022, it was inspected. There was divers in there and everything, but we are looking at needing to sand it and paint it inside and out.
This
So
is the lower tank.
the lower tank, the
Yes.
100,000 gallon tank,
Yes.
yes, the storage tank. So I just wanted to let you know that it was inspected and there was divers in there in 2022. So it has to be inspected every 5 years that way. So we have till 2027 to do that again, but it really needs sanded and repainted. And Kim said I couldn't put, Kim loves Dale and a big heart on the side with spray paint. So,
Sanded and repainted, just the exterior.
Inside.
interior and exterior.
Okay.
I have put out requests for bids for that. What's that one called? Something iron, I never remember.
Elizabeth, Public Works uses them.
Yeah,
Um,
so I reached out, a couple towns use them, really like them. I reached out to other towns in the area, asked what they use, so I have requested bids. So hopefully I will have those soon, but they did not get into me yet. So I'm hoping by next month, by glory, I will have some bids or, dragging someone in here in person. But so I wanted to let you know that I was working on that and that I did look when the last time it was at least inspected. So we are good on inspection, but the one company did tell me they were gonna give me a bid separately if you wanted to do. They were gonna give me a bid for the inside and a bid for the outside. So if you want to do one now and one later budgetary wise, you could do that, or if you want to do both at the same time. So, anyway, so I should have those in. I will have those in for next meeting, but I wanted to let you know where we were on that.
Excellent.
So it's more just FYI.
Perfect. And we'll see that again next month, I'm sure.
Yes, so we will table that or for next month's discussion.
Excellent.
Till we get the bids, yeah.
Till you get the bids.
Okay, any other
Laurel's brain's going, I
correspondence
see her.
discussion, or do you have a question on that?
No, I have a question about the
Too late.
agreement.
Too late.
What do you mean it's too late? I just wanna, I see two things that I've got questions about.
Okay.
On this agreement and a number, what is it? XV, whatever that is, independent contract, or no, venue, on the last, second to last, well, a couple pages back.
Mhm.
It says County of Arapahoe.
Where? What page? What's the page number? at the
There is no page number at the bottom.
Oh, because that's yours.
Oh, 7. Oh, there, it must be 8. It's 8, I'm sorry. Under venue. X1B, that's 19, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the location of Paul's business,
Oh, is
but
that the way?
but that could be changed to El Paso County if you wanted to.
Albert.
Elbert County.
Or Albert, I'm sorry, Albert.
It's okay, it's okay.
And then I have,
Who else?
that's right,
It's okay.
I have one other that I just saw on Exhibit A, the scope of services. Down at the very last number 8. It talks about, an annual report on behalf of Kiowa Water Authority submitted by CEP on or before February 19th of every year. What is the 19th, February 19th?
Paul, you wanna fill the board and the new board
That-
members in on what the annual report is?
It's a date. I'm
That's
concerned.
just the annual biosolids report that goes out every year
And it's on February
for the
19th?
previous year. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
when
guess
it's due.
Okay.
To CDPHE.
Okay,
He's been working on it.
I was just concerned because we're so close to that date.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we
This
discussed
agreement.
it last week in our monthly meeting
Yeah,
with him,
okay.
and he assured us he would have it in by the 18th.
Oh, okay, thank you. Another question, sorry.
It's okay.
Questions are fine.
Inquiring minds, want to know.
That's right. Anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Well, you want to stick around?
Everybody wants to stay?
Do it, Teresa, do it.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded during this meeting at 7:50, 6:50, sorry.
I was like, wow.
No.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion on the table, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
I know you were for that. It was just delayed
You sound like an auctioneer there.
All right, so meeting is adjourned.
at 6:50.